Welcome to Culture by the Uncultured. We are your hosts, Sam, Sunny, and Taylor B. On today's episode, we're going to talk a lot about movies, a couple in specific. First, we want to start off with John Singleton. We talked a little bit about this before the show. We just want to kind of pay our respects, well wishes to his family and friends, praying for them, of course, praying for John, God rest his soul. He had major contributions to the film industry in total. Had a lot of films, had a lot of work, kind of started the careers for a lot of people. Nia Long, I think Ice Cube was in one of his first movies, Boys in the Hood. I think that was like his first gig, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously made a lot of films, Shaft, Poetic Justice, Boys in the Hood, Baby Boy. He did a lot. He did a lot in film, made a lot of people's careers. With that being said, John Singleton was also nominated for Best Director when at the age of 24, making him the youngest American and the first African American ever to be nominated for the award for his work on Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood is probably my favorite John Singleton movie. I saw it when I was very young. My father had a huge movie collection with all these like gangster flicks and I don't know, Carlito's Way, A Bronx Tale, Godfather, Scarface. He was really into like Gladiator and stuff like that. Just pretty much into like dudes like fucking shit up or like crazy stuff happening around people, you know? Friday was definitely one of those movies. It was definitely a movie that I saw. And of course, like there's a lot of scenes in there. Some of them are pretty graphic, especially like, you know, when Ricky's murdered. A lot of it has to do with Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character making the decision of, you know, staying in the hood, going off to college. What does he want to do next? Does he want to avenge his friend? You know, some basically kind of just goes over like a day in the life of somebody in that situation, you know, whether or not you're smart or not, this stuff affects you because you're in this place. It has nothing to do with your level of intelligence personally. It just has to do with this is your surroundings. You know, this is where you're born. And I just thought it was really powerful. Even at a young age, I was able to absorb a lot of the messages that the movie had. Sam, I know you were also a fan of some of his films. What's probably your favorite John Singleton film?
Hustle and Flow, definitely. I like struggle films that definitely show the struggle, the rise and fall. Well, not really the fall, but the rise of an aspiring rapper and the struggles he had to go through. Just the music itself, I still have it on my iPhone, like to this day, and make sure if I download my music and nothing's on there, that's definitely one of the albums that I put forth. And it's definitely what I'm playing, like whenever I'm working out or driving.
Yeah, that was definitely a good movie. I enjoyed the movie as well. Like I said before, he had a hand in many other films, executive produced films. I know he was even working on Snowfall, was like one of the most recent things that he was a part of. So, you know, his career, he was 51 years old, I believe, when he passed. Yep. It's fairly young for anybody, really. But I'm sure he lived a full life, did a lot, he accomplished a lot in almost 30-year career, it seems like. I'm sure he had much more to give, and I'm sure we'll, you know, still see things from him and people that are influenced by him, you know, things that are dedicated to him, all different sorts of things like that. So just one last time, I just want to say rest in peace, John Singleton. You will be missed. You were definitely a positive figure in our culture, and God rest your soul. Moving on from there, this just kind of sort of was brought up, Sam. So, I mean, just kind of give your 2 cents in. We'll just kind of say whatever our thoughts on this. But Sonic the Hedgehog is a movie. It's actually a thing. It's not like a joke or something. And we got the first trailer a couple days ago. I think it was like 2 days ago is when the trailer came out. What do you guys think about that?
I'm disgusted. I hate it. I hate it. As far as my recollection is, one, Dr. Egghead is not like comedic, quirky, and like outright witty. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's just how I remember it. Maybe it's different. And I don't remember him being so skinny.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Carrey playing him. It's kind of like, are you guys going for a comedic like type hero movie? Or it's like, this is not meant to be serious? Because, you know, Jim Carrey can play serious roles, but just from the trailer, it looked like it's going to be him in his natural comedic state.
Well, I feel like if they tried to make it serious, it'd be just corny, don't you? I can't imagine a serious scenario to bring Sonic into the real world. I mean, a giant hedgehog that runs really fast is not really you can't really make that too real or too serious.
True. I'll meet you with that one.
I'm sure it's probably going to be like kid friendly. I'm sure
it's probably a kids movie.
Yeah,
but you know, playing Gangsta's Paradise like in the trailer does not tell me it's a kids movie.
Yeah, it's just tacky.
Yeah,
it's just tacky, honestly. Because like I said, what does Sonic have to do with gangster?
Oh man,
nothing. Honestly, I can't think of one person who's like gangster and plays Sonic. I mean, maybe when we were kids, you know, on the fucking Sega, if you were, you know,
some old heads or something.
Yeah, like you had a Sega, but not in today's time. Nah, that's like kid shit.
Gangster Paradise, I don't see it having to have any connection with Sonic as a franchise whatsoever. As soon as I heard the song, in my head I was already thinking, are we for real? This is happening right now?
Yeah.
It was just super unnecessary. I feel like they could have gone with the goddamn Sonic the show's theme song or something,
Gotta go. They could have gave it one of the episodes.
Yeah, like something like that, or like fucking like 2000s rock music would have been a much better fit than fucking Coolio's Gangster Paradise. Like, who in the fuck? Like, who approved this? Who thought this was a good idea? Fire that guy, please.
I'm going to go on like DeviantArt or something and find someone's fan art of their, because there's a huge Sonic community with all this really, really bad Sonic fan art. I'm going to find a gangster one just for you guys.
Oh, God.
I bet you it's out there.
Make sure that it's like the thumbnail for this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Gangsta ass Sonic.
I also wonder if anybody, like, I'm sure somebody has to think of this stuff when like films are being made, especially adaptations. Like, whoever came up with the character design, I'm sure they're very proud of their work and they're like, oh yeah, like this is the coolest thing I've ever done. I'm so glad to be a part of this. But I wonder if, I'm not even really wondering. I know at one point they had to have thought like, I'm going to get a fucking shit ton of backlash for this. My skin needs to be made of fucking steel for the time this movie is like first like talked about all the way till the time the movie actually comes out. Like, I need to have the fucking skin a fucking Superman so that I don't fucking hurt myself because of the fucking backlash I'm going to get from this shit.
Well, before that commercial was even released, they came out and talked about like the eyes, especially. They're like, yeah, we can't just do the one eye thing that, classic design just because it looked weird. So they kind of pre-warned us. Like, they came out and like, just let you know, like, it doesn't look like how you expect it to look. So I think they knew.
I feel like as far as the face, I would be okay with it. It's the body that bugs me the most.
Because he's not lanky and like just twigs.
Yeah, it's like awkward. It's like he basically looks
proportional. It's more proportional. They tried to make it more proportional.
Yeah, and he pretty much looks human, but just like some kind of weird alien is what he looks like pretty much to me. He doesn't look any, I don't know, aside from the blue spikes. And what's up with the shedding? Why is there fur all over the fucking place?
Well, because he's a hedgehog, I assume. They have fur.
But is that a thing they just shed all the time?
I don't know. I don't recall like seeing him shedding a lot, but maybe that's their excuse for like the blue line behind him because they're trying to make it realish, I guess.
I guess that makes sense. The electricity thing is weird too. It's like, what the fuck is this? The Speed Force that he's running through? What's going on here? What are we doing here?
I'm very curious to see what they use to explain him or to put him in this world and what kind of world they created for this because I can't imagine it.
I saw a meme earlier today that said that Detective Pikachu and Sonic, what if they were the start of the Super Smash Brothers cinematic universe?
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. They make a Legend of Zelda movie.
Oh my God, I'd freak the fuck out. I'm honestly surprised there has never been a Legend of Zelda movie.
Well, because he doesn't talk.
Yeah, like what do you want him to say?
I mean, that's true, but I mean, the same thing can be said of like Judge Dredd or RoboCop. Like those guys.
There was a movie, wasn't there?
Legend of Zelda? I don't think so.
Well, there was a like cartoon
thing, yeah.
There was a cartoon, yeah, but other than that, I don't think there was like an actual like live action movie. I don't think that's ever been a thing.
Well, excuse me, princess. That's why there's not a movie. That is why there's not a movie. Okay.
Because he doesn't talk. I feel like I'm sure there's other movies where like the main guy doesn't really talk. None
well,
to the top
yeah, I can bet maybe like they just say little words, like few words.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Leon the Professional wasn't talkative, was he?
No, he wasn't talking.
Or am I thinking like Man on Fire? Which one was he was kind of stoic?
I think Leon, he was very stoic. I can only recall very few lines from Leon the Professional. And one of them is maybe a shits. Like
yeah, I know.
Like,
yeah.
That's like the only line I can like really recall.
I don't know, but typically they have to talk at least some. I mean,
yeah, say something, please.
Hardcore Henry, the main character, didn't talk
at all.
He didn't talk at all. But also the movie was from his perspective, so maybe it would have been kind of weird.
And it was also like a first-person action video game type movie. So
I didn't watch that. So.
I watched the movie the other day. I love that movie.
Hardcore Henry.
Yeah, it's like
that movie shit.
It's like it's parkour and it's like and like he said it's shown in the
POV
person. Yeah. So like all the stunts and everything that he does, like you're doing it basically. So it's really interesting to see it that way.
I guess I'm really hesitant on like found footage or like things with the camera that moves too much. I don't really like
the camera
that.
moves like crazy. I mean, it's not as bad as other movies I've seen where it's like found footage. I feel like people tend to kind of like complain about it a lot, and I totally get it. Like I don't get motion sickness like that, but like for what he does in the movie, like it just feels like for me it feels like you're running. Like found footage movies, it's like you're just kind of seeing what's happening with all these people. But Hardcore Henry is like you're doing parkour, you're climbing up this building, you're shooting this gun, you're doing this and that. You know what I mean? So it's like it's more interesting that way, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But anyway, so I'm pretty sure we're all in agreement that Sonic does not look like it's going to be that great. I mean, Sonny.
It looks like this is going to be made for kids. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm gonna,
still want to see it.
Yeah.
Maybe not in theaters.
I'm going to call it like, if you're a grown ass person and you're getting mad that Sonic looks this way, I think it's safe to say you are not the target audience. Like, you're not.
I'm pretty sure adults in general just aren't.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Compared to Sonic, what do you guys think about Detective Pikachu?
Well, that looks fun.
Yeah, I think that movie looks like it's going to be good.
It's going to be awesome. Now, it came out early. Like I always say, I hate fanboys. I really do hate like over the top fanboys.
Mm-hmm.
And only because when they saw that Jigglypuff had fur, they're like, "Why does Jigglypuff have fur?" Blah blah blah. It's like it's a fucking animal. Like are all Pokemon supposed to be hairless? But it's like, what the fuck do you mean?
Yeah, I don't know what else they expected Jigglypuff's texture to be. It's a Jigglypuff, not like scales or Jiggly scales.
Jiggly scales.
Jiggly skin.
I guess they expected it to be like some rubbery substance, like a balloon or something, seen in a cartoon and blew up to epic proportions. But, you know, are you going to try to tell me that Alakazam does not have hair when it has that fucking S curl? Like, try to convince me that one. So are you saying Jinx does not have hair?
Oh,
they're fucking animals. Yeah, guarantee you more than half of them are covered with some type of fur. Now, I can see, you know, if Gyarados came out with a big-ass mustache, you'd be upset over that. Yeah, he's a fucking dragon. Like, he should have scales.
Oh, Mr. Mime, though, looks super creepy.
I mean, Mr. Mime is creepy.
Yeah, he is.
Like, he creeps me the fuck out. Like, no. Fuck you, bro. Especially his Pokédex entry.
Oh, man.
I guess who's voicing Sonic? Who's the leads on that movie? Because Ryan Reynolds on Detective Pikachu is like, you know, obviously a big fan base wants to see Ryan Reynolds.
So. Yeah, I don't know who's doing Sonic's voice. That's actually a good question.
You gonna Google it?
I'm trying to Google it right the fuck now. What did you guys think about you know that scene with Charizard? What did you guys think of Charizard's look?
They look fine.
He looks like Charizard. Like, what do you mean? Like,
I guess. Well, I mean that makes sense, of course, but I guess like kind of like what you were saying about Jigglypuff on the reverse side of it. I didn't think he would be so like coarse looking, like rough. That's just what it reminds me of. He looks like really rough and like I guess scaly, but like
he's a giant fucking lizard with wings.
Well, yeah, but I thought he'd look more like badass. Like he doesn't look like. I used to think Charizard looks cool, but like the Charizard in this movie doesn't look cool, if that makes sense.
Well, when you look at Charizard, I mean, he's not that cool.
Charizard in the Pokédex, when you like look at him in the Pokédex or even Pokemon, he's like big rounded stomach, short arms, big wings, dragon's head. The guy's only like 5'4". Like, it's not like this big epic dragon. He's a normal size fucking. He's like the size of a child or like a short woman, essentially.
He's the size of your grandma.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just really funny to me. I'm sorry.
That's hilarious. I used to look at all my Pokemon back in the day and like to see how tall they were compared to me. I always thought that shit was weird.
Oh, my bad. Charizard is 5'7", so I can look him right in his eyes. So it's like
he's fucking tiny. Damn, I didn't know that little.
Terrifying, no. Like dangerous, yes, but I'm sorry. I'll just carry a bucket of water with me.
I wonder how tall Dragonite is.
Dragonite's like 5'11".
Oh yeah, for sure, bigger, for sure.
You saw Ben Schwartz is Sonic.
Does it say Ben Schwartz? Who the fuck is Ben Schwartz?
He's some comedian, isn't he? He's in something. I don't know.
Was he in Parks and Rec? Yeah, he was in Parks and Rec. He was John Ralphio. Oh my god.
But either way, you know, that's not really a star-studded cast right there. I mean, Jim Carrey is a recognizable name, but he's not big right now. So
yeah,
Dragonite's 7 foot, by the way.
His partner is going to be that guy, James Marsden. Wasn't he? He was Cyclops in like the original X-Men movies, wasn't he?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure he was. Did they switch guys? I don't really remember. He was in X-Men. Was he only in X-Men? I think they switched guys after the first one. So he wasn't in... Okay, no. That's not true because this is X-Men Days of Future. What in the ever love? Okay, anyways. I'm sure we're all in agreement that Detective Pikachu looks like it's going to be awesome and fun, and hopefully there'll be some curse words, and Sonic doesn't look like it's going to be that appealing to adults.
Let me say this. So the cinematographer for Detective Pikachu said after watching the Sonic Hedgehog trailer, he thought, "I'm so glad we don't look like that."
Facts, though.
Yeah.
Definitely facts. I guess really like I want to go into the movie with kind of like an open mind, but knowing what Sonic looks like, I'm not going to enjoy it for sure, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, all right. Now time for the topic of the fucking next couple of weeks, probably. Endgame. We all saw Endgame, right?
Yeah.
And before we, start talking about it in depth, I want to say spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the movie by now, that's kind of crazy because this podcast is probably going to come out like a week or a couple days from now. So it's already been out for like a week and a half probably. So you should probably take your ass to the movie theater unless you're broke or something, which in case, I'm sorry. Maybe get a job or, do some yard work or something like that and it would be good.
Wow.
Suck some dick.
Suck some dick for
I'm just trying to get some life advice. I'm trying to help people out, share the wealth. Anyway, hell, you can work at the movie theater and probably go see it for free.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, then obviously don't listen to what we're about to say. We're just going to talk in depth about some of our favorite things, some callbacks, and what we thought overall in general about the movie, and give it a rating at the end of this.
You've been warned.
Where do we want to begin? Let's start from. Okay, let's cut the movie in half. Let's talk about the first part, all the way up until they get the Infinity Stones, and then we'll save like the rest of the movie for another talk, or like the same talk, but like let's get all our thoughts about the first half of the movie and then the second half later. Does that make sense?
Okay.
All right. So what I would like to say first about the movie, of course, is I'm a huge Captain America fan, and okay, that's not necessary, but okay. Anyway, I'm a huge Captain America fan. I thought it was amazing and very cool that he fought himself. I thought the callback with the line, "I can do this all day," I thought that was super awesome. It definitely made the theater that I was in laugh. I went to go see the movie like 12 at midnight, and people were super, entertained by it. Seeing that was, like I said, was really cool. Seeing Iron Man come back, and kind of be able to do the things he was able to do as far as helping the team with the time travel and, just kind of putting the pieces together for Iron Man. Like, okay, this is how we can get it to work and, stuff like that. The team even going out to fight Thanos. And then unfortunately, this is like one of my only gripes in the film, the super easy victory that was brought about because of that. I mean, it's cool he got killed right away, but I mean, like, and then obviously later on something else happens. But in the beginning, I just thought it was too soon. I thought it should have been somewhat of a fight, I guess the movie's super long still anyway, so maybe that's why it wasn't that big. I'm sure there was probably like an alternate version where they had like a fucking big, slugfest or something, and they still overpowered him somehow. But,
not in the beginning. It's definitely explained in the beginning why it was like that.
What did they say?
That when he destroyed the Infinity Stones, it almost killed him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, if you think about it in this sense, so the first time you used the Infinity Stone, it broke the gauntlet and it charred his whole
arm.
His whole arm. The second time he would use it, it could probably be worse because he's not at 100%. That's why he's limping with his leg.
Yeah.
The whole other side of his face is charred up, why he's having all these issues. So yeah, it kind of made sense for him not to be like a full fight.
I get the explanation. Like I said, my only gripe was that like I just feel like the fight it would have been more entertaining for it to be a little bit longer, or it could have even been in the sense of like he's fighting them and he doesn't just want to use the stones to kill them, so he's trying to fight them and they're clearly overpowering him because he's hurt, like you said, and all that. And then in that moment, he's like, "I'm just going to destroy the stones. Fuck it." Snap, and then fucking they're gone, and then they're freaking out and they just kill him because of that or something, versus just like, "Oh, I already destroyed them days ago," like you guys already have me fucking bent down and fucking all over me, the gauntlets off and everything, and then fucking,
it's used to give you a sense of like lost in hope.
Yeah,
they're making you lose hope already, or disregard any hope that they were going to get the Infinity Stones. that they need to find an alternate way.
Yeah, for sure.
It's about a journey. You start out and then you get the problem. Then you have to struggle, find a solution. Then it builds up to the overall ending. So with that being said, if they would have got there and he would have been fighting, you don't think Captain Marvel would have been able to hold him off when he has all the stones? Like, she proved it at the end of the movie when he had the gauntlet, that the gauntlet really doesn't even fuck with her like that.
The gauntlet wasn't really anything unless he closes his hand and activates it. And that's where the whole, like, he pulls out the power stone, remember, and fucking...
Yeah, so if she would have got it to his hand while it was still open, that would have been an even fight for her.
Probably.
She could take Thanos pretty much by herself if she really wanted to. So they had to like power it down like just a little. Make it to where like you lose hope in the situation, or you finally realize like the magnitude of these stones.
Yeah.
That even Thanos, one of the most powerful characters we've been introduced to, can still be destroyed by these stones, or they're too strong even for him.
The directors had said something about, they did that because of Thanos' personality. And I think they said not to make him too Christ-like, but like his job was done, and, he would have just done that because at that point he was more kind of morally sound at that point,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously he became less morally sound after that, when that didn't work and he figured that shit out. But I thought their reasoning behind it was legit. I mean, that was a surprise, right, to the audience instead of giving them what they expected. So, because people have probably been sitting, since Infinity War, just sitting around thinking about, what's going to happen next, and already assuming. So they probably had to throw a curveball just to, surprise the audience.
Absolutely. And then next, of course, the 5 years passed. We kind of catch up with everybody. I don't know. I'm sure you guys probably caught this too, but Okoye talks about the underground or the underwater tremors. A lot of people have already been speculating, of course, that is a direct reference to Namor coming in the near future, hopefully. It'd be cool. I know with licensing and stuff like that, I guess he can't have his own solo film, so he'll probably have to show up in somebody else's, probably Fantastic Four film maybe, or maybe even another Black Panther film, something like that. That'd be really cool to see, though, of course. Moving further along, when the team kind of figures everything out with Ant-Man and stuff, I didn't really understand, I guess. Maybe it's not so much that I didn't understand, but did you guys understand? Well, okay, I guess it is an understanding thing, but did you guys understand why he came back when he did instead of coming back when he was supposed to? Like, I get like the rat touches the fucking thing and then it opens up or whatever, but
when they all disappeared, there was no one to push the button to bring him back.
So that was it, just pushing the button.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a push of the button to actually activate it to bring him back. That's why during the whole sequence when they're jumping through the portal, it's them counting down, like hitting the button, counting down, and hitting it again. If you remember in Ant-Man 2, they were supposed to hit the button and they all disappeared.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, that makes sense. And I just kind of like, when I first saw it, I was just kind of like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, it was like 5 hours. And then, for them, it was 5 years. And I was like, that's fucking weird. I was like, I feel like that doesn't seem right, but okay. Because if he didn't go anywhere, then time would move differently in the actual quantum realm itself. Because he didn't actually like travel in time or anything. He was just in the quantum realm that whole time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it makes sense why he doesn't age or anything. Because if he was somewhere else for 5 years, he would still age 5 years and then come back or whatever. But quantum realm, fake science, all that jazz. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Moving further along in the story, when they actually go back in time. So, do you guys expect anything out of all these things they kind of did, like fucking Thor stealing Mjolnir from himself, Loki fucking taking the Tesseract and disappearing and all that shit? Like, what do you guys think about all that stuff?
Like they said, when you go back and you affect the past, that just becomes your future.
Or does it make separate timelines? That's what the Doctor Strange lady said.
So like just reading comics, we already know that there's different universes and different timelines. Yeah. So that just fits in with Marvel having different universes and timelines to me. I don't think anything's necessarily going to become of it, but except for there's this alternate timeline where Loki is alive, essentially.
What do you think about, okay, like, I don't know if you guys heard, like, Tom Hiddleston was always, like, saying, like, Loki's dead for sure and stuff like that. And I know they're going to make a series, and I guess the rumors are that it's a series about, like, him meddling with Earth for, like, a long time. Like, he's been messing with Earth for, like, a long time throughout history or something like that. Mm-hmm. Let's say that's not true, and then say that, like, this series is about this Loki that fucking, teleported away and got away from the Avengers, right? Would you say that what Tom Hiddleston was saying was a mislead or still very accurate? because technically Loki is still dead, but this is another version of him that is alive or would be alive.
Yeah, I think technically it's true. I think it's obviously, they don't want to spoil it. So
I thought that was
it's like a half
just to see that, because I was like, well, you guys aren't going after him or helping them go after them. Like, you're just leaving that alone. Like, I get they needed to take the stones back to wherever they got him from. I totally understood that, but leaving the stuff the way it was, like him taking Mjolnir, I was like, you just took that hammer from yourself. Like, that's a very powerful weapon that is just gone from this, whatever point in history this is, But I don't know. I would definitely like to see that. And I heard they're going to do a what if storyline for Phase 4 for some of the stuff. Supposedly, I heard some rumor that they're going to do like a Peggy Carter where she gets the fucking serum, and then Steve Rogers gets like an Iron Man suit or something like that. Like, I would definitely be into seeing these. Like,
what?
Yeah.
Steve Rogers is. Why would he come back?
I don't know. No, not like I don't want to see him again. Not like for I don't know if it's going to be for the movies or if it's going to be comics, but it's just like some stuff that I like, some people that I follow, like spreading rumors and stuff like that. I don't think anything is confirmed yet or set in stone, but I have definitely seen the Peggy Carter with the little Wolverine, or Lil Wolverine, which is like some pink chick with like claws like Wolverine. And then Peggy Carter had like the shield and like had a suit on and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck is this? It looks pretty sick. And I mean, Peggy Carter was kind of a badass already. I only watched like a couple episodes of her show, but I mean, she was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and fucking pretty badass. So it'd be really cool to see her have the actual super soldier serum versus like Steve Rogers, who's like, it's great that you got it, but like, let's give it to somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing.
There is a what if series, a Marvel what if series for the what if comics, because they apparently had a series of comics that were like weird scenarios or whatever. So that might be where it might be in that.
Oh, that'd be, I fucking looked that up. That'll be good.
You also know there's going to be a Falcon and Winter Soldier series, right?
I did see that, and I'm very interested to see what it'll actually be about, because I wonder if it's going to like pick up from where they left off.
Yeah.
Or if it's going to be like, I don't know, maybe just them doing random shit or something,
And then I assume the WandaVision. I'm pretty sure everybody knows the WandaVision series.
Do you guys think that's going to be a follow-up or a prequel?
I imagine a prequel. Isn't Vision dead?
Well, he is, but he's also was a robot, so.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. But he needed the Soul Stone.
I mean, technically, you don't need the Soul Stone.
They needed his memories downloaded, and supposedly Shuri was almost done doing it, if not done already, so.
Oh, so maybe. Yeah.
It'd be curious to see, because I know, like, the original Vision, like, Scarlet Witch was in love with, what the fuck was that guy's name? She was in love with a superhero, I forget his name, and then he dies, I believe, and then they like implant his memories into Vision, and then she falls in love with Vision. So it's interesting. Their whole little dynamic in the series as well in the MCU is interesting, just because like it's not really like that she like was in love with somebody and Vision has the memories. It's just like she's nice to him and he tries to be nice to her. So then it's like, okay, well, let's just fall in love because we're both freaks,
Ooh, well, it would probably be good as a prequel because, in Infinity War, that's when they first kind of were in love, right?
Yeah.
And that just seemed to kind of come out of nowhere. So I bet you they'd do a prequel for that. So that kind of explains where that came from.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think, what did Iron Man says in Infinity War, that like Vision just kind of like deactivated his like tracker or whatever. And then like, I know they were kind of like pushing that idea a little bit in Civil War, but then Infinity War, they were just like hiding out for a couple weeks or whatever, and then they were gonna like go back to their respective groups or whatever. And then right before Division gets stabbed, he tells Scarlet Witch like, oh, what if we just don't go back or something like that, and then boom, action, but so it would be cool to see like their little adventures together and kind of what they did. I just think it would be cool in general to see in this universe other villains that they like come across and like deal with, because I'm sure we haven't seen all their adventures, of course. We just seen what we've seen in the movies as far as like Crossbones, Vulture, Obadiah Stane, Whiplash, Red Skull, Thanos, etc., all the people we've seen in the movie. But like, I'm certain those aren't the only adventures they've had. I'm certain that they've done more. So it would almost be like, you guys ever seen, like, you guys remember Star Wars, The Clone Wars? Like, it kind of tells you what happened during the wartime and stuff, all the different adventures Obi-Wan and Anakin had. And then Anakin even getting a Padawan who is not even present in Star Wars Episode 3. But it just kind of like fills stuff in like that. So I think that'd be cool to see too. Just kind of like, okay, so they did fight this person, like any kind of like arch rivals or arch nemesis, and then like kind of big, even big fights that they could potentially have in the series, like it's sort of like Defenders, but it would be more intertwined, I'm sure, because they're actually a part of the MCU and they're actual characters.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
And the What If series might be pretty cool.
All those would be super, super dope, and I can't wait to see them. Were you guys kind of thrown off about the Nebula thing a little bit?
Like being linked? No, because it's herself. So she has her own memories. She's technology. So even if you bring technology back to the past, it would still work.
It's probably signals. Like she might give off certain signals so they intercept each other.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. I just feel like, I don't know. I just didn't understand it because like I know she's part machine. I do get that. And I'm sure things are recorded, like that's how like they find out Gamora had knew where Vormir was or knew where the Soul Stone was. But I guess just because it's all the stuff that she has is from the future. So I feel like that part didn't make sense to me. Like,
how would you get your future? Like, unless they upgraded her post 2012 or 2014.
Yeah.
So you got to think about it like that. If she never got upgraded, like it's all still the same shit. So you have access to the same thing.
Well, I'm sure she got upgraded because, the gold plating won and because she was defeated at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but her software?
I don't know. Maybe not, but I don't know. I just thought that was kind of weird just to like, okay, I get where they're both machines. I could understand maybe intercepting the signal, but then it just seemed like it was going straight to her. Like if it was her memories, that just kind of was weird to me.
They probably share the same cloud.
Yeah.
I'm for real. They probably like upload to the same cloud. That's fine.
Well, Taylor, you got to understand, these are like alien races that are far more advanced than humans are.
That's true.
So there's nothing out of the realm of possibilities when we're talking about them.
For sure. What did you guys think about Iron Man's suit? Did you guys like it more than the suit he had in Infinity War, or did you guys like it less, the same?
I mean, there's only one suit that's worth talking about, and that's the Sin suit. And Pepper wore that.
I mean,
let's be honest, that's the best suit, like in the whole franchise, the whole series. It's the Sin suit.
I'm not really into fashion like that, you guys. So. Clearly, you guys like fashion, but I wasn't really looking at that.
I'm not even talking about the fashion. I'm talking about like the capabilities of that suit.
I like Spider-Man's suit.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
Well, because he has the spider backpack like in Invader Zim, so I like that. I didn't know Spider-Man had legs like that come out.
That was that actually happened in Civil War too. Iron Man gave Spider-Man a suit, and he was way better than he was originally, but he abandons Iron Man's side and then goes to Captain America's side in his old suit, which is kind of crazy. But
and gets his ass beat.
Yeah, he got fucked up until like when he recovered and he was in his old suit and he was fucking people up.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mr. Fantastic is like, he watches Spider-Man like knock out like 5 different like heroes and villains or something, and Mr. Fantastic's like spectacular or something like that, and then like he like kicks Mr. Fantastic in the face and he goes, amazing.
This must be comics?
Yeah, that was in the comics for Civil War. Yeah, for sure.
Because I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
That event was super mad intense inside the comic books. What about Thor? Thoughts on Thor?
I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was nice. It like brought him down from like a god level to like, the fight affected everybody differently.
Yeah.
Thor lost all confidence in himself. So Thor went from being like the overconfident, sexy god to I'm worthless.
Yeah.
Depressed.
And started becoming an alcoholic.
I thought that was like, it was weird because it was kind of distracting, but it was okay for me. Like it wasn't like too much for whatever reason. I had some friends that was like, oh my gosh, can't believe that they did that to Thor. And I mean, I kind of get it, especially because a lot of women probably thought he was really hot before. But I was like, this is realistic. Like he would have a fucking breakdown and like something would have happened to him. Like he would definitely not be the same person after all that happened. Like this man has lost everything and he not getting none of it back.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just the way it is,
And fuck these people body shaming Thor. Okay, he can still be attractive and chubby.
That's true.
So fuck them.
High five. But I thought he was super dope. Even I thought it was even funny. Like I definitely expected him to like lose the weight before like the final battle or whatever. But with his armor and like the little belly shape it had, I was like, this is great. I loved every moment that I got to see Thor on screen. The way they like changed his character from Thor Ragnarok and moving forward, like the comedy elements they've added, I don't know what to say. It just was like whoever, or was it Taika whatever his name, Wakiki, I forget his name. Taika.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, that man changed Thor's character for the better, for certain.
Mhm.
And I greatly appreciate it. His character in general has been better. I feel like Chris Hemsworth might even actually have appreciated it. He probably thinks like, man, this is a much better character. Like, I have fun with this now.
Yeah.
Versus like me being, kind of like, I'm a god and da 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 da. I'm supposed to be super tough and badass. Like I'm sure he has more fun with it himself too. Considering like, it seems like he's going to stay a part of the fucking universe, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on the Hulk?
I thought that show was funny.
Yeah, I'm okay with the Hulk.
Did you expect to see him like do it, or did you guys think as soon as we saw him we were going to get Professor Hulk right away?
Well, I had read spoilers, so that's great.
Yeah, I didn't see anything other than the first teaser trailer, so I can honestly say I did not expect to see Professor Hulk. They showed it, I was like, yo, what? like they really doing this right now? So I was like, so now we introduced one of the smartest people in the universe to the Marvel series. Nice.
When they went back in time and he was like, Captain America told him like, yeah, just kind of break a couple things. And he was like, it's a bit gratuitous, but whatever. Oh my God. I was fucking rolling. Oh man. And I thought it was really cool too to see when he jumped to the rooftop to go see the Ancient One in New York City during the attack. I thought it was cool because then like now when I watch that movie, if I ever watch it again, Avengers, like they're going to be fighting in the back of my head. I'm going to be like, oh, the Ancient One was here helping them out, but they just didn't know it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Still wish I could have saw Luke Cage, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, or who the fuck ever. But I mean, that's neither here nor there, right?
I mean, that'd be
for sure. I mean, there was a lot going on in the movie in general, but it just would have been nice to see. What did you guys think about Hawkeye?
You're talking about him turning into Ronan?
Yeah.
Not necessary, but...
Did you guys feel anything in the beginning of the movie when, like, you see his family and all that first? Like, did that do anything? Like, that I heard a lot of people kind of, like, react to that scene.
You're like,
like everybody understood what was about to happen. And I, like, kind of got, like, this sinking feeling, too, watching that. I was like, this is about to get fucked up. This is about to get really dark really fast.
Honestly, I can't say I did because when I know what to expect, it doesn't surprise me. I can feel emotions from it, but the first half of the movie did not surprise me at all. Like I knew that his family was gone.
Yeah,
I don't feel anything for that because we already knew.
What about you, Sonny?
Yeah, no, not really. I guess for me, Hawkeye was never really kind of developed enough for me to care about him. Is the issue for me?
Okay, that's fair. And then finally, the final member of the original Avengers cast, Black Widow. What did you guys think about her and her role in this film?
Well, I just knew she had to go.
For real? Did you think she was going to die before like we watched the movie?
I figured it was going to be, I called 3 people. I said, Tony Stark got to die because you got to have that emotional response. Cap got to go. I don't think I told it to you, but I did tell it to one of my friends, like Black Widow has to go because I'm not saying she's useless, especially when you have, Hawkeye there, but because, they're both pretty much on the same level, but you have too many characters that have an emotional bond with her. So if you get rid of her in some way,
it's going to affect everybody else.
It's going to affect everybody. It throws everybody off their game. Yeah. So they had more of a reason to do it because now we have to do it for her.
Yeah.
We got to make sure her death is good. And I
legit didn't see that coming personally. And honestly, what I thought was going to happen? I thought Hawkeye was going to throw his bow over the cliff.
What?
That's really because he just said you got to get rid of something you love. That's what Red Skull was saying. That's why I genuinely thought, like when he first, I was like, they're going to smile. He's going to say something stupid, run to the edge, and then just fucking throw his bow off the cliff. Watch. I really thought that's what was going to happen.
Well, but then Red Skull said a soul for a soul, though.
But
bow doesn't have a soul.
When he first said that, I was like, man, you just throw that bow over there. You love that bow. You've fucking been using it for so long. It's a done deal. There you go. But then they started fighting.
Well, I was just like, of course, they send the 2, I'm not going to say useless, but useless characters to go get the soul stone. Yeah.
Well, also those who have an actual relationship.
Yeah.
Like outside of like the Avengers team, they were actually partners in real life, so they had that emotional connection with each other.
You think the Black Widow movie is going to look at that? Do you think the Black Widow movie might be about Hawkeye going to get her?
Well, I heard it's going to be a prequel about like her becoming a spy and all that stuff. So it's more of a prequel. It could be though. It could be one of those,
if she's dead, like what does that contribute to the
really
universe?
Doesn't. That's what I'm curious about too. But I'm wondering if maybe it'll be one of those like it could potentially be one of those. You ever see one of those movies where it's like or a show even where they do an episode where it's like it's mostly like a flashback to something, and then it's like a couple scenes are from like the present or whatever. Like let's say the character's going to go into like the final battle or whatever, and then he's just thinking about like some of the things he's learned along the way. They're like, you never saw it on screen before, but he's just now thinking about it before this event or whatever. So it could very well be something like that. Like, okay, like hell, it could even be about fucking Hawkeye thinking about Budapest because they've talked about that multiple times. And then fucking, but he's on his way to go fucking like try to revive her or something, That'd be super cool.
Yeah, because isn't the Soul Stone maybe like its own universe in it?
It's
like,
supposed to, but as far as the movies, we have not necessarily seen that except for Gamora, which is another one of those weird things because like it kind of makes you think like, why was she even in the end of that when she's like, oh, like, did you get it done or whatever? And she's like, what does it cost? Like he saw a little Gamora, but like she doesn't exist. And like they're saying like, you can't bring her back because she was sacrificed in this way and stuff. So like,
it's because they went back in time, was they able to bring her back?
Yeah. So
they went to that alternate time lapse.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting. Of course, when the movie comes out, we'll be able to see what actually happens with her and her character, if there'll be anything new, or if it's just going to be just strictly a prequel that offers nothing to the story, then, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, for the most part, that pretty much wraps up the first half of the movie. Like I said, we talked about Thor, talked about Hulk, talked about Iron Man, talked about Cap, talked about Black Widow. And for the second half of the movie, we'll just talk about basically from the point Hulk snapped his fingers to the end of the movie. Were any of you guys curious as to why Thor didn't use the glove later on or offer to use the glove? Well, no, they said he wasn't fit to do it, right? Isn't that what they said?
Yeah, he volunteered,
like,
and then
you can't do it right now.
Yeah,
they body shamed him in the damn movie.
No, I think it was just more his mental state. Like,
come on, Taylor, gotta make everything about body shaming.
Gosh. So he didn't really do anything then, huh? The Hulk, after that snap, like he held the building up until Ant-Man got there, and then he didn't really fight or nothing after that, right?
I mean, what can he do? His one arm. He did as best he could.
I'm just
asshole.
I was just gonna say, I know he held up that building, but I don't remember him doing anything else after that. And then Ant-Man was like flipping on pens and office supplies and shit to get to Rhodey and fucking Rocket. Okay, let's talk about fucking Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America. That scene specifically, them versus Thanos. Also Thanos, of course, too. I want to start by saying Thanos is such a hard ass. The guy that fucking comes down to planet Earth to fight the fucking the world's top heroes or whatever, and just tells his daughter, she's like, what do you want me to do? Like, go find the glove or whatever. And she's like, what are you going to do? I'm going to wait. Like, knowing that he's waiting there to fight them. Like that, I was just like, come on, man, this guy cannot be this fucking tough. Jesus Christ, man. Like,
I mean, when you think about it, yeah, he is. Like, he actually, in all honesty, he is. It's like when they're like, there's no defenses in the garden, and she's like, it's just him, and they said that's all he needs. Like, there's only a handful of Avenger characters that could like fuck with Thanos. Like, there's Thor, who gets his ass beat because he's in a weakened state. Captain Marvel, which shows it towards the middle. end. Scarlet Witch, who we'll get into that shit later.
Yeah,
and Vision's dead. So
I think Doctor Strange could beat him, but during the whole fight, he was busy the whole time.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
he's sticking to the plan. Sure. That's what he's doing.
So what did you guys think about that scene though, with the three of them? Was that like not? Well, I just also want to point out it's another callback to their first fight, because their first fight was against each other with the three of them all on the same screen. They fought each other, and then this time they're fighting with each other against one enemy, which I thought was super epic. Of course, Thor walking out there with his fucking new suit of belly armor and fucking two hammers. Iron Man in a new suit alongside, his best bro Cap, and, Cap in a new suit with his old shield, and they're ready to kick some ass. And fucking, of course, it was about fucking time. Cap got the fucking hammer and fucking went fucking ape shit all over all over Thanos' fucking forehead. I'm just going to say that was the coolest scene in the movie for me. I didn't need anything else after that. It was great.
We know.
Because you'd be all outcast dead.
All right. That wasn't necessary, but okay. Anyway, I thought Iron Man did a great job too. Yeah, I feel like he always kind of puts up a really good fight. Like Iron Man always reminds me of like a Batman who was prepared. Like people always think, oh, like Batman with prep time could be anybody. Well, Iron Man is like Batman with a Batman who's just already prepared.
It's for when you put a super genius in a suit of armor that's synthetic, microscopic, and well, not microscopic, but
nanotechnology
can like change. Nanotechnology, thank you, and could like change on will. Like yeah, he's always prepared because he's always running simulations with Friday.
Yeah.
Like we can't hear him outside the suit. That's why they take us into the cockpit every now and then. Just think about it. Like, what if he's just literally in there with Friday running simulations? Like, what if I do this Friday? Oh, boss, that has an 80% chance of
which makes sense because I mean he did it to Captain America, you know. So I mean it makes sense.
Learned his moves and then predicted it. That's what he does. That's why he always puts up a good fight. And people fail to realize, like, yeah, the man took boxing classes too. He learned how to fight outside the suit. That way, when he's inside the suit, he's just that much better.
He can take a good hit. I mean, he took a hit of the hammer when Thor hit it at him, and then Thanos used him as a shield.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit. Fuck, man. I just realized Thor reminded me of a dwarf.
Just with the hammer?
Because his hair, the hammer, the hair, and like the little belly, like he was a dwarf. Yeah.
Just a tall dwarf. Okay.
Essentially, yeah. Just a 6 foot
Oh shit, that's crazy. But that was super sick. I mean, and of course, like I got super like crazy, like just like Infinity War when I saw Cap gets hit in the face, but then all the rest of the Avengers or whatever get run through too. I was like, fuck, this is gonna be it. But when Cap came back and he like held the glove, I was like, he's gonna hit him and he's gonna kill him. Like I was so afraid, right? And then, you know, he hits him like really hard and he just passes out, I guess, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, he's still alive. Thank God. And the snap didn't take him. And I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, he knocked him the fuck out.
When they were fighting and he like kept hitting the shield and then it broke and then he like kept hitting Captain America. And I was like I had pants on and then like I kept like hiking up my pants and I had shorts on, like watching that.
What the fuck?
Because I was just like, I just kept like scratching at my pants and then like the pants the leg were just coming up.
This is the weirdest thing I've ever heard anyone say ever.
I just couldn't.
I've never got anxious and pulled my pants up. That is not something I do when I'm anxious.
But I was just so nervous that he was going to die. And then, you know, he kind of got left alone for a second. And I was like, he looked washed for real. And then, you know, you hear Sam's voice on your left. And I was like, I wanted to cry. Like, I was like, I knew they were back because of the snap and everything. But I was just like, oh my goodness, like, it's about fucking time. Like, they finna come and watch this full. And then not even just seeing them, like, because I honestly just expected just the heroes to come back. But then Doctor Strange brought the wizards and the army from Wakanda and fucking there was like the Ravagers were there and all kinds of people were there. And I was like, holy shit, dude, like this is way more people than I thought. I only expected the people that fucking mainly fought Thanos and that was it pretty much to be there. Mm-hmm. So like, you know, Falcon, Winter Soldier, T'Challa, Shuri, Doctor Strange, of course, Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy. Like that's pretty much all I expected to come back. But he brought back all those people and then they brought back more people to come help them. And I was like, holy shit, I was not.
I thought they were just going to fight them by themselves.
Pretty much.
Like, hey, it's going to be us 10 versus
about 30 of us, and there's about a gang of them. So let's just, you know, you take that left over there. I'll take this right over here, you know, about a couple thousand each. We got it, guys.
I'll tell you what the most epic moment of that whole sequence was, like for real, was when they were getting fired upon. And then, you know, they stop firing and they start like aiming towards the sky.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, shit, here she come.
Yeah, but back up, because we have to address how much of a bitch Thanos is.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, because I saved it for this. Thanos has to be the biggest bitch in the series. One, Scarlet Witch, when she popped up and her eyes were glowing, I was like, oh, God, yes, here we go. Revenge. She said, you took everything from me. I don't even know you. You will. I was like,
yes. The disrespect in his like I'm sure he didn't mean it this way, but when he said, I don't even know you, I was like, this man is probably so confused right now. Like he really doesn't know who she is. He is so confused right now.
Think about that. That's like someone just popping up out of a hole and then beating your ass for some shit that you didn't even do yet.
Well, and she would have had him if he wasn't a bitch.
Oh, for sure. She was on his ass.
Oh, yeah. She was destroying. Well, it's like I said, she's actually one of the strongest characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they like downplayed her up to this point. But now I'm mad because you got her to this point only for him to bitch out talking about rain fire. But our troops just do it.
I see the meme that said it said Thanos, rain fire, and then Corvus, but our troops. And then another Thanos one, and it was like, fuck the troops. It's like, oh, hell no. Oh, shit, man.
Yo, but like for real, like why you gotta be such a bitch? Just like take the L. Just take the L. Just take the fucking L. Like it's okay to lose. She's gonna rip you limb to limb. It's just let it happen.
I kind of wish we would have got a little bit more screen time for the children of Thanos in this movie, like to see Maul fight people. Like that guy, I don't know who he fought, but like he's got some serious powers. So whoever he fought had a hard time fighting him. Corvus Glaive and fucking Proxima Midnight, they're not that badass. So like I wasn't really expecting much from them because like I mean fucking Proxima Midnight got beat up by some regular ass people, except for fucking I guess Scarlet Witch kind of just threw her in the air when those fucking spinny things came. And then Corvus Glaive was like, he fought Vision, and then I guess Captain America fought him too. And then Vision just stabbed him with his own staff. So it was like, neither of those two were that badass. But then Obsidian Cole or Cole Obsidian with the fucking big dude, he was the first person out there, and I don't remember seeing him after that. He like jumped across like from everybody, and I was like, oh, he's about it. He's ready to go for war for Thanos for real.
Oh yeah, I think someone took him out early though.
But yeah, I thought all that stuff was really cool. I thought it was really cool how they got all the women. I thought that was great. They got all the girls together, and somebody said something like, oh, like can you do it? And all the women were like, she's got backup, and it was really cool to see them like all kind of walk up, like they all kind of grouped up, and then they were all like walking like with a sense of purpose. And I was like, this is fucking badass. Like these women are about to fucking wreck everything right now, you know, and like they don't need no fucking men, you know, like they got it.
I kind of thought that was a little fan servicey, but it was fine. You know, obviously I'm okay with it, but I thought it was a little fan service.
I'm sure. I mean, just like the scene with when Sam said on your left, I thought like from that point until the troops of Wakanda came out, I was like, this is like appealing to black people because like it almost makes it look like, oh, the black people are the heroes because fucking he said on your left, a portal opened up, and then T'Challa, Shuri, and Okoye walk out. And I was like, anybody who's black right now is like, Wakanda forever. I bet you right now, like, they're like, yeah, we in here. We in this hole, you know? Like, that's
pretty much the whole end scene with every time someone showed up, it was fan servicey. But the women of Marvel scene I thought it was a little corny, but it was, you know, it was still badass.
There's some pretty cool chicks inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe for sure, especially like considering Scarlet Witch and fucking I would personally argue that the Wasp is a better hero than fucking Ant-Man is, even though she can't turn giant. Like her skill set to me is much better than fucking Ant-Man's personally.
Well, and she's smarter.
Yeah, so I feel like she's definitely a plus. Scarlet Witch is one of the most powerful beings, or she should be one of the most powerful beings in the MCU. Valkyrie, I'm sure, is very strong, you know, and she's the queen of Asgard now. I didn't see that coming at all. I thought Thor was going to take his throne and be like, all right, I'm for my people now, you know, but now he wants to go raid the galaxy, I guess, with the Asgardians of the galaxy.
Which I sincerely wonder if he's going to be in the
talk with his mom was like, hey, you know, be you, not who you think you should be, you know.
Yeah.
And as far as Valkyrie, I mean, what Ragnarok is explained that, you know, the Valkyries were elite warriors that led the charge.
Yeah.
And even in Norse mythology, you know, Valkyries are nothing to fuck with. They lead warriors to heaven, fallen warriors to heaven.
Yeah, it pretty much covers everybody else. Okay, when the final charge happened, this is another gripe that I kind of had just because I think it was Joe Russo talked about it, if I'm not mistaken. It was either Kevin Feige or Joe Russo. One of the Russo brothers or Kevin Feige said that we were going to see Captain Marvel's weakness in this movie because like she pretty much seemed like Superman in her movie. Like nothing can stop her, you know, especially now that she believes in herself. And she fucking went, basically when she gets enough energy or whatever, and she's all supercharged and Super Saiyan looking or whatever, right? There's a word for it, but I can't remember what it is. Binary, there we go, binary mode. You know, she's super powerful, obviously, or whatever, right? So that clearly didn't happen. We didn't see a weakness. We just saw Thanos use the Power Stone to get her off of him.
Yeah, we did. That's her weakness, the Power Stone. That man punched her ass all the way back to 1970. Like, what do you mean? She was gone.
I did not expect her to put up as much of a fight she did. I thought it was going to be like I had heard rumors that she was going to be like the new Superman. She's going to be the new leader. This, that, and the third.
Okay, let's stop. Whoever says she's going to be the new Superman needs to go like shut themselves in a corner.
This is what I was hearing from like reviews and stuff like that. Big YouTube reviewers.
They can like go sit themselves in a corner and think about
because everybody's like, oh, she's supposed to be more powerful than Thor and all this. And I'm like, dude, I'm not really trying to see somebody like that. Like, I don't think that is necessary to win this to win this battle. It's just more of like teamwork and the whole team coming together. You know what I mean?
I mean, even if you look at her character, like she feels more of a duty towards the universe in entirety than she feels like to Earth. Because like for the most part, she forgot about Earth and her life on Earth. All she knows is like her life in the universe. Earth already has heroes. Yeah. She's the hero of the entire universe. Like, so no, she's not going to be like a new Superman. Marvel, I don't think Marvel would make like a Superman type character. That's but just I mean,
if you look at what she's done so far already, just with her movie alone, and then this one,
what she defeated some corrupt aliens.
She's defeated corrupt aliens and destroyed ships, and the only other person who's done anything similar to that is Thor, and she made Thanos look like a bitch without having to get a fancy axe.
Okay, so she had a new type of battery energy source blow up that her body somehow mystically absorbed, and now she has a power that she's learned to control.
Based off what I've seen so far, like especially with her fight against Thanos, like she wasn't struggling like crazy or anything like that until the Power Stone hit her, of course. But I would like to see where they go with her character, just because like Superman, when he came out in Justice League, the movie was pretty much over. That's almost what it seemed like for this movie. Like she came out and it was like she started just fucking up the ship. She was fucking handling people. And it was just like, oh, fuck, like she's damn near unstoppable until fucking Thanos was like Power Stone. And it was like, oh, shit, that helped stop her or slowed her down at least, you know? But nobody at all was dealing with Thanos. Even like Captain America with the hammer was like, oh, he's putting in work, but he definitely was not going to put in the fucking work that Captain Marvel was going to put in, you know, until she got hit with the Power Stone. But I don't know. I don't see her doing anything like, I guess I don't want to say relevant. It's like they made a character now. Like, so let's say they made a character to the equivalent of Superman, right? I couldn't even imagine another a Man of Steel movie, because who the fuck is he going to fight? We've just seen this man come back. He wrecked the Justice League when he came back. He came back and fucking Steppenwolf was like, oh shit, a Kryptonian. And it was just like, okay, well, like we clearly know Superman is that dude. He's fucking fast enough to swing on Flash. He's strong enough to fucking headbutt fucking Wonder Woman into the ground. Fucking Cyborg's little shit doesn't do nothing to him. Aquaman can't fuck with him.
Well, that's the flaw of DC versus Marvel. You know, Superman is this almighty God character.
True.
Even in the comics, we know Captain Marvel is not an almighty. She's strong as shit, but she's not an almighty character. She can still be broken down.
I feel like they need to I also think we'll get into this later, but I feel like because of where they're going, like maybe that's why they introduced her. But I'm like, they're going to need to bring out somebody big in order to like for her to have a.
You don't think they would do that in Captain Marvel too?
Yeah, hopefully, unless they give her one of those fucking bullshit movies where like, oh, she loses her powers. Oh my God, I would hate to see that.
It's like every superhero movie; they have to overcome something.
Yeah.
So she's gonna have someone that she has to overcome. That's just natural in the movie,
for sure. I wonder. I guess I'm more curious as to how that affects the dynamic, considering like what she was able to do already and contribute to, like coming into the universe right away, versus like, you know, comparisons like, okay, like she helped defeat Thanos and was like fucking, you know, she fucking put him in a fucking chokehold right away, fucking in the beginning of the movie. At the end of the movie, she's fucking him up and fucking helping or holding the gauntlet open and stuff like that. So it's like to see somebody else come, people are just gonna be like, oh, is this guy supposed to be stronger than Thanos? Why is she doing this by herself? How come nobody else?
I mean, even Captain America held Thanos' glove open in Infinity War. Like that's not a feat of strength. Like honestly, Captain America did it, and he's just a man on steroids.
True,
so it's not that impressive of a feat. Fucking Iron Man did it on multiple occasions. It's just when Thanos punches them in the face after that you know they lose that grip, and he's able to close his fist to activate it,
which is typical. I mean, you know, don't expect anyone to do that.
Strong left hand, God.
Who is it? Mike Tyson said that shit. Everybody has a plan, so they get punched in the face.
Man, when he hit Captain America and had him stuck on the floor, I was like, he's dead.
Knocked his ass out.
Not realistically, but I was just like that. Like the sound of him hitting people, like when he did, like with like it almost seemed like he wasn't hitting people with full strength for like major parts of the movie. But then like there was a part where like he put Captain America on the ground, and I was like, oh, he hit him for real. Like he wasn't holding back. He hit him hard. Like he's a grown man, and Captain America was a little boy, and he wanted to put that little boy to sleep, and that's what he did.
Well, he said he got tired of playing with him. Think about it. You over here fucking around. This man just won't stay down. So like, okay, I guess I gotta hit you for real now.
Oh my God. All right. So let's get to the end of this then. Okay, Iron Man sacrifice. I know you guys both love Iron Man, so give it to me. You know, I know you guys don't fuck with Captain America and all that. So Iron Man sacrifice. Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
Iron Man is the greatest hero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
He is a true hero, and will be missed. I miss him so much. I can't believe they killed my baby.
What about you, Sam?
Honestly, Iron Man's been one of my favorites for a long time, but I didn't expect anyone else to pull out the greatest heroic feat of the franchise other than him. it started with him, it's going to end with him. That's just how it is.
That's a good way to look at it.
You know, more people have an emotional bond to Iron Man than they do have to Captain America because he started it all for the cinematic universe.
What was I going to say? I thought I was going to cry because after the last time, this was kind of like almost a thing, you know, in Infinity War. For some reason, though, maybe it's because how honorable it was. It made me less, I don't want to say less impactful, but him almost getting stabbed or him almost getting killed by Thanos by getting stabbed, I was like, oh shit, like that kind of like, that worried me and kind of like shook me. And I guess like, I explained it to somebody and said like, it kind of reminds me of like the equivalent of if Nipsey Hussle had just died, like from like a disease or something, we would not be as upset as him being taken away from us. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like if Iron Man would have been killed by Thanos in Infinity War, like getting stabbed and that was the end of him, oh fuck, like that would have hurt a lot more than him like just kind of like, I have to do this in order for, you know, everybody to survive. Cool. Everybody's gone. I'm gone too, but you know, at the behest of everybody else surviving, yeah, for sure, I'll take that L. You know, fine. So it was just kind of different in that way. I thought of it more honorable, you know, salute to him in that way instead of like, oh fuck, like I don't want him to die, you know.
I still cried, so
Well, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people cried and was hurt by that. I mean, it was definitely an impactful moment, and I feel that, like you guys said, it started with him and it ends with him. That was a great way of putting it.
Captain America's a
Captain
bitch.
America is a
Selfish ass bitch.
Calm down.
Okay, we actually have visual proof of him being a selfish bitch.
Wow.
Literally in the movie, he starts with he's telling the group, you just gotta let go sometimes. Yet this bitch been looking at the same girl for how long? Let go, dude. Why don't you take your own fucking advice? And then Tony Stark, who has let go, moved on with his life, started a family. He has the audacity to come over here and ask him, don't let go. Come back and help us so we can save people because I can't let go. So asking Iron Man to sacrifice what he built, his life, his family, everything that means anything to him, asking him to sacrifice that for everyone else, when in the end, what does Steve do? Steve says, you know what? Nah, I'm going to just go back and live my life and be happy with this woman that I could never let go. But, you know, Tony had to let go of his family so that you cannot let go of your family. So fuck him.
To get a life, though?
No, wait, time out. Taylor, that's like saying it's okay if you tell me get a life and I allow you to sacrifice your family. It's okay for you to go get, you know, start a whole life and experience being married, having a child, raising your child.
The difference is
no. There is Iron Man told him, yes, get a life, but that is a saying for you to do something.
I
you know, he could have got a life.
Not get a life in the past. It's move on. Do something now.
Go back in time and fuck up the timeline.
I understand that, but what happened was also necessary. And without any of that stuff happening, we don't get nobody else back. It would just be move on. And
why does he have to go back and spend time with that woman that he couldn't let go?
I'm sure that's not what the end goal was, but that was just a byproduct of everything that happened.
That was literally his end goal once he went back in time.
Yeah, because he never let go of her.
He never let go. He carried a locket with her face in it.
He looked at it at the very beginning of the movie.
But what I'm saying is that I'm sure that was not his end goal. He was not thinking, oh, let's just do this so I can go back to Peggy. He probably did it because, okay, well, this is all over now. I don't want to. There's nothing else for us to do. I might as well, if I can go back, I'm going to go back.
He should have let go. He should have took his own advice. He's a hypocrite.
So then what would have happened?
And
so everybody would have been dead.
And note, okay, he then kissed his own niece, okay?
Yeah,
his own great niece.
Well, I don't think it's his niece because it's an alternate timeline, which is another thing I don't
That's not how time works.
That's not how time works, though.
He literally kissed his own niece.
It wouldn't be his own niece. It would still be an alternate timeline, but that's
so you're saying then he irresponsibly created a separate timeline, which is what the ancient one said not to do.
And so did
that he agreed with Tony.
Yes, so
he agreed with Tony not to change anything. We only bring back
changed.
Listen, he agreed with Tony not to change anything.
Yeah.
That means we don't go back in the past and we don't change anything in the past.
Yeah.
He literally went back into the past and got married. That changed
something.
A life. He lived a whole life. That literally changed something. So depending on what time he went back to, you know, Cap never got frozen.
No, his past self still got frozen. But still,
his past self got frozen, but he was able to live his life. So there's a Cap out there that's either A, still frozen or unfrozen, crying that Peggy got married to someone that, you know, wasn't him.
Either way, I'm just saying he's irresponsible. selfish hypocrite.
Yep.
I don't like him. Fuck Steven. I don't like
honestly,
Steven.
Taylor, like if you can say that you allow your friend to sacrifice his life, his being able to raise his child just so you can live a life of happiness.
For everyone, it wasn't just for his life. It was for everyone.
He sacrificed.
It was for everyone. No Spider-Man, no Doctor Strange, no Black Panther, none of that.
I don't think you're understanding like the timeline. He sacrificed his life for everyone in the present. Steve said, "Fuck that," went back in the past and lived a life. So if he
didn't go back into the past, you guys would have no complaint then.
If he would not have lived his life in the past.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. That would be fine. But that was the most selfish thing he's ever done. And
he could have moved on into
lots of things he's done. But yeah, he could have moved on like he told other people to do. Move on. You have to let it go. It's in the past. You can't change it. But he had to because the thing is,
Tony had faith that Steve would have been around afterwards to help take care of everything, take care of his family. But Steve arrives back in the present as an old man that's well into his hundreds.
Well, no, he probably time jumped before he got that old.
To me, that was the most confusing scene in the movie because of the whole thing about the alternate timelines. What was it? You can't change anything in your you can't change your future
your future.
The Dragon Ball Z theory of it all, which is why I didn't understand how he could live to their timeline. I didn't understand that unless I try to explain it to myself and just kind of break it down maybe he went with Peggy for a little bit and then time jumped later on because he was like, well, I can't stay here forever. Or maybe he was with her for a little bit, moved on to himself.
He wouldn't be able to time jump
her life. But either way I thought about it, I couldn't piece together how the fuck he ended up back there unless when he got to a certain age, he was like, okay, let me go back now.
Yeah, that's what it is because he wouldn't be able to time jump. He would have used the pep particles because remember they tried to bring him back, but he missed his stop.
Yeah,
so he must have took off the bracelet or dished the pep particles somewhere, which is still irresponsible. So he, as an old man, was like, yeah, today's the date that they probably will be back. Let me go sit on this bench.
I just, I don't like what they did with Captain America. I think that really made him look worse than I already thought he was. So they shouldn't have done that.
Well, honestly, what else could he have done besides just retire and be like, I don't want to do this anymore?
He could have.
Just as bad, wouldn't it?
He could have came to honestly, he could have came back to the future, retired, and lived a life.
Yeah, moved on with his life, started a new life. Tony did. Tony had to move on and start a new life.
It's the fact that he preached, we have to let go.
Yeah, he shouldn't have preached that. If he did not preach that in the beginning, then it wouldn't have been as hypocritical.
Maybe, I guess.
Because why would he say that? And then for the rest of the movie, he's not letting go of anything. He's trying to go back.
He even preached that sometimes we got to let go bullshit to Black Widow when it's like, what if you're not needed?
I feel like, I get that gripe, but I guess it makes more sense when they don't have any options. When there's no possibility of time travel, when there's no even a theory of it all or anything, when that's not a thought at all, then it's it makes sense that he's acting the way he's acting, we just have to move on from this all and just kind of get better. But then when something is thrown in your lap and you're just like, oh shit, we could really bring everybody back. We could fix everything. And then not only that, now you're like, oh shit, we can time travel. I could go back home. What the fuck? Shit.
That's selfishness talking. That's the selfishness.
Yeah. Then he goes and interrupts Tony's life, who has moved on, started a beautiful life, and is happy. So he selfishly goes to him and puts him in this position where, how is Tony going to say no? So that's fucked up. You shouldn't do that to someone who's moved on with their life and is happy.
I mean,
that's having the chance to rob a bank, right?
Why the fuck would you?
I'm just saying, if I say, yo, look, we can do this. I know you got a beautiful wife, you got a beautiful child, you done left this life behind.
Damn, it's not
the same at all because we're talking about doing something good.
All right. Okay, let's say you got a chance to catch somebody you could have never caught if you're a detective, right?
Mm-hmm.
This dude is a mass murderer. He mass serial killer, like Hannibal Lecter. And you come
the prize at the end. There's nothing that I can even relate to the equivalent of, because even Tony lost someone. He lost Spider-Man. He lost the kid. That was his big. When he came back, I lost the kid.
Yeah, but he moved on.
He lost the kid. Yeah, but now he has a daughter to look after. He literally has his own child he has to raise.
That is true, but
he lost the kid, but he has a family.
We will never comprehend the decision of having to sacrifice ourselves for the entire world. Tony Stark is basically Jesus.
Yeah,
No.
Tony Stark is. No,
Yeah.
he is. He is a beautiful soul. He is the best hero. He put his family and life on the line.
The most selfish fact it was that Captain America knew that he didn't need to get Tony to agree right then. That all he had to do was plant the seed, and Tony's righteous brain would have been like, I have to do this.
I mean, he kind of did, because
he told him and Tony said no. And then he was like, you know what? I can actually do this. So let's do this.
I don't think he should have presented it to Tony at all, because Tony moved on with his life and was happy. And now you're putting him at risk to lose everything or to die and not have his daughter and not be around. So,
but I mean, I get, but it's like, it's, I don't even want to say for the greater good. It's like, okay, like,
I mean, it is for the greater good, but it's also, you know,
I was just going to say, think about, I've seen a post recently about like different anime characters who sacrifice themselves for the greater good. One of them was like Itachi, right? And it's like, that is somebody who like understood, like they lost everything, right? And I'm sure they had to move on. Itachi becomes a part of the fucking Akatsuki or whatever. He doesn't necessarily find a new family, but he has a different path or whatever, right? He's over.
He was a spy. He was literally a spy the whole time.
Yeah.
That's different.
So the end goal was ultimately to get his brother to fucking the end goal guy or whatever. That was his end goal, right?
The end goal was to protect the village from outside the village. That was the end goal. But he was keeping his brother alive by doing so.
So for Tony, his end goal, I'm sure, was to protect the world, because that's what he, like he said, build a suit of armor around the world. This and the third. Whatever he was going to have to do for the world, he was going to do it.
He would have built a suit of armor around the world, but who told him, no, we'll lose together, or no, that violates our personal freedoms? Who told him? Cap.
Did the suit of armor around the world not try to destroy the world? Or am I tripping?
I don't know. That's totally not what happened, because they weren't able to build a suit of armor. No.
Ultron was a suit of armor that they tried to build around the world, and he tried to destroy the world because he thought that humans were the problem.
That was after Cap was like, no, we couldn't do it, blah, blah, blah. And Tony tried to shut that shit down.
And then what happened? The suit of armor that Tony had built tried to destroy the world.
Because it was a smart suit of armor, and it was like, they're going to fucking destroy me because Captain America wants to destroy me.
That's not also what happened when fucking after they fought Ultron. He had a conversation with Jarvis and then took over Jarvis's little mind or whatever, and then he fucking spread out into the fucking internet or some shit, and then that he somehow got other fucking versions of himself and fucking came to fruition. It wasn't just that they were going to destroy him. He had no comprehension of anything, and then had comprehension of everything and came to the determination that was it.
Okay, but just because a plan fails does not mean it was not initially a good idea.
I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying it wasn't it came from a good place ultimately, and I understand that. But everybody's going to have their points of views. Like, if somebody says something that is like fucking world changing, I'm not just going to sit there and be like, yeah, let's do this. I'm going to be like, oh, hold on, before we present this idea or think about it, let's think about any possible repercussions. What could happen? Who could want to kill us because of this idea that this person is having? Who's fucking any potential, who could potentially get in the way? How could this potentially affect us and everybody else? Stuff like all sorts of things. I mean, but when it comes to
either way, let's not go back. Let's talk about this movie.
All I'm saying is, in totality, I understand what you guys are saying about it being like, why didn't you move on? Like, you're not taking your own words. I get that. And to me, it's just, I understand that it was definitely the idea that we can reverse everything that happened. I'm sure that was the idea. I don't think
wasn't necessary.
If Tony was alive, I don't think that Cap would have left, personally. If Tony had survived, I don't think Cap would have left. I think he would have stayed.
Yeah.
But since he was gone, I feel like he just kind of felt like one of his best friends was gone, or I feel like it was almost like he exiled himself from this time point.
I don't think that's what it was.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that
because Cap chose Bucky over Iron Man. So Cap has more loyalty to other people besides Iron Man.
He does.
Cap would have never really left Bucky out to dry. He chose to be. It was nothing but a selfish decision of, I'm going to live my life, because one of his best friends died. He left his other best friend who grew up with him. Then he left his protege in Falcon. Then he left the Avengers without a leader. He literally took a selfish route through life. Through to the end of the movie. Everything leading up to this point, it's all been Cap being either selfish or rebellious or self-righteous.
I just want to say real quick that I don't think it was just loyalty to Bucky. It was just that he knew that he wasn't in control of his mind, so that he didn't want Iron Man just to kill him because of that. and they were also friends too. They were all friends, but if Iron Man was like, if he had the chance to explain it to Iron Man, I'm sure that it would have gone differently. But that wasn't the case. It was just, oh, it's on site. He killed my family. Oh shit, I can't let you just do that. But that's neither here nor there, though.
Which you can't. But
Cap
okay.
literally
It's writing. It's the way the writing is, though. It's just that's it.
But yeah, anyways, Cap is selfish. None of this was needed. They could have just lived their lives, but Cap had to be self-righteous.
And Taylor disagrees, and it's fine. You know, they're made up characters, and we don't have to see either of them ever again. I don't mind not seeing Steven ever again, but, you know, my Robert Downey Jr. that's going to be hard. I don't even know what's the point in Marvel anymore.
Yeah, the Phase 4 is going to be something to behold, I'm sure. Not because of like greatness or anything, but more so over as far as what is going to be like the building blocks for the rest of like the franchise, you know, because if they're going to do anything else like this, it's going to like the building blocks of it are going to come from things that trickle over from Phase 1 through 3, and then whatever else they like lay down the blocks for. Like, I'm sure the Eternals movie is probably going to have a lot to do with like, you know, who the Eternals are, fucking celestials and all that, cosmic entities, as well as, you know, things that probably stem over from them using the Infinity Stones and the Infinity Stones being destroyed themselves, you know. So I'm sure we'll get some developing stories from that, probably through Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, probably through Captain Marvel Part 2, the Silver Surfer movie that they want to make, and then, you know, the Eternals, all that space-related stuff. And then whatever else they have left, like ground level stuff, like fucking Spider-Man, Black Panther, a couple other movies, I'm sure. Those movies will probably just be like, I mean, we'll probably see some cool things in there, but I can't really imagine that they're going to have like a big foothold on like space level stuff. It's probably just going to be more like cameos and introductions to like things that are things that we're not aware of on Earth, such as Namor or other villains, or even maybe a villain group, you know, something like that. Supposedly I heard they want to do Dark Avengers. That wouldn't be a bad idea, but they got to introduce a hell of a lot of people though first.
Do you know if they're doing a second Doctor Strange?
Yeah, the only movies that I know for sure are Black Panther, Black Widow, Spider-Man, which Spider-Man is supposed to be the last movie of Phase 3. They want to do a Doctor Strange 2. They're doing Eternals, and then everything else is just rumors for now, from what I've heard.
Well, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is
that one too. But Silver Surfer, Dark Avengers. What else did I see? I've seen a couple other ones, but pretty much everything else that I've heard besides those like other movies that I mentioned are just rumors for now.
I can't wait to see if, you know, Chris Hemsworth is actually in the next Guardians, or if they kick him by then.
If he fights Adam Warlock, oh my gosh, bad ass. That'll be a good fight. I'd like to see that.
I'll take your word for that, since Sam isn't going to respond and he knows more about this than I do.
Well, I mean, in the actual Infinity Gauntlet story, Adam Warlock can pretty much go toe-to-toe with Thanos by himself. And he had the Soul Stone in the comic too, I think. But in this one, they're just made by those people that want to take revenge on them. So I'm sure he's easily going to be able to fuck up every other member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, unless they make Mantis like her like OP level. Well, I mean, obviously a lot happened. We saw a lot, and I'm super thankful for what the Marvel Cinematic Universe gave us, and I can't wait to see what else they have for us. Hopefully it'll be good. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say that I'd give the movie like an 8.2.
Yeah, I was also feeling like 8.5 maybe.
I give it 8.5.
Okay. Yeah, so we're all pretty much in agreement then. It was great. Could have been a little bit better, but it was still great overall though, for sure. It was definitely satisfying. And with that being said, please like and follow us, or like and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find us on SoundCloud. Like and follow our page on Facebook. Everything is Cultured by the Uncultured except for our Twitter. Twitter is going to be CBTU, and then the end is just Uncultured. So CBT Uncultured at Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, YouTube. All of that is Cultured by the Uncultured. Share it with your friends and family, please. The more followers we have, the more we'll be able to do when things can start getting rolling, and we can get more followers, more views, and maybe have some giveaways in the future.
You forgot the most important part.
Oh, absolutely. The fans, for sure. Providing.
Oh, no. I was talking about we have culturedbytheuncultured.com,
Oh, yeah. That too. Yeah.
We actually have a website where you can leave us feedback, like real feedback. Absolutely. Talk shit. Tell us what's up.
Because if comments get disabled on something else, on our website, for sure, you can just talk all the shit you want there. But that'll probably be it for now then. You guys have any final thoughts?
Nope.
All right, then we'll see you guys next time.